welcome back to another video. This is Bruna. Today we are going to be crocheting something that it's again super trendy right now. I'm going to show you how to crochet a 13 squares bag. I know, you heard it right. We are going to be creating this amazing bag using only 13 granny squares. I have used this beautiful spiral granny square that I've showed you guys in my previous video, this one here, and I'm pretty excited because I loved that square. It's super fun to crochet and it turned out so pretty. Look at this. And it also has these amazing thick straps in which I love, and it fits perfectly around the shoulders, as you can see. I'm so excited, everyone. It's so pretty. So this is what we are going to be crocheting today's video. This is today's tutorial. Super fun, and you're not going to believe how quick this bag is to make. So I'm so excited. And it's also super trendy, so we are going to be rocking our bag out there this summertime. So this is using also cotton, so it's perfect for summertime. So I'm pretty excited. Also, you don't have to use the same spiral granny square that I am using to create this bag. You can use any other square that you want. Maybe you can follow the same size. I am doing 12 by 12 centimeters for each of these squares here. So you can use any other square that you want. You can do with flowers, you can do with normal granny squares as well. The very simple design. So just be creative and you can just do anything you want with this bag. So yeah, this is what we are going to be doing in today's video. I really hope you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave your massive thumbs up as you always do. Also, don't forget to subscribe to watch more fun crochet tutorials like this one. So enjoy the video, everyone. So now let's begin with the tutorial. So here we have everything that we are going to be using in today's video, starting with our squares. So I am going to be using 13 squares for this tutorial. So I have here all of my 13 squares completed. As you can see, I am not going to show you guys how to crochet the actual square because I already have the tutorial on my channel. So I'm going to be linking that in the little eye and also in the description. So do feel free to check it out if you need to learn how to make this square before you move on into crocheting and creating the bag. And this square here is 12 by 12 centimeters. So if you want to make a bigger bag, you would need to make a bigger square. Maybe you can add one more row or use any other square that you want to crochet this bag with. And then next we have all of the materials. First we have the 3 yarns that we are going to be using. You can choose any other yarn you want. I decided to go for these 3 here, the beige, the copper and the brown, but I'm not sure 100% if I'm gonna be using all of the 3 or just 2. So this is just what I'm planning right now because I don't know what's gonna happen. And then here we have 3 hooks that I'm planning on using, the 3mm, 4mm and the 5mm. Let's see if I'm gonna use all of them. For now, right now, I think I'm gonna use all of them, but let's see what's gonna happen. And if I'm gonna use just one or all of them, let's see. And then last but not least, we have small pair of scissors, tapestry needle and a measuring tape, so that I can measure everything for you guys. So this is everything that we are going to be needing. So now let's move on into crocheting and making the actual bag. This bag is so quick. Right after when you have your squares, you can jump right into crocheting this bag, and it's crazy quick to make this bag. So let's move on. So the first thing you want to do is to make sure that all of your squares are in the same direction, that the little swirls in the square are basically in the same direction. That's me, that I want it to be a little bit nicer, but if you want it to be kind of random, then just go for what you want to do. So now once you have the squares ready, we can now start to lay all of the squares down and to basically create the layout of the bag. I have it right here. I'm going to be putting it here so you can see as well, so that you have the layout and you can screenshot it. This is exactly how the layout is, and this is also how we are going to be sewing the squares together. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be placing and laying all of my squares here on my table, but on the reverse already, so that I can start sewing and that I don't sew any squares in the wrong place, basically. So I just want to leave them here grab one, sew it together, grab the next one, sew it in place. It's going to just make our life much easier. So that's what we are going to be doing. So we have all of the squares laid in the right way now. I got a bit confused around this area. What we are going to be doing now, everyone, is just grabbing the same shade as the very last row in the tapestry needle, and we are going to be sewing the squares together. I have a lot of videos already of me sewing squares together. It's not a secret. I'll leave a few in the description so that you can see. This one I'm just going to probably time lapse for you. Maybe I will record a few a little bit close up, but just so you have any questions, I'll leave a couple in the description as well so you can check it out. And if you don't like sewing like what I do, you can also attach the squares together with single crochets. So you can just decide where you want to start, and then you can single crochet this way and then the other way so that you can join everything together. I'm going to be sewing the way that I prefer sewing, tapestry needle and a little bit of yarn, and then I'm just gonna sew the squares together. All right, so it's going to be up to you how you want to do this part. So I'm gonna get my tapestry needle, a little bit of the yarn, thread it into my tapestry needle. I like to sew my squares with a double yarn on my tapestry needle. That's just what I prefer. And then I make a knot right here at the end so that I don't have to make a knot when I'm sewing right at the beginning. So you're going to be making a knot, cutting the end, a little bit the end of the yarn. You don't want it to be too long. I'm going to be starting right here at the top and then work my way down. So here is the top of the bag, and also here is the top. You will see when I kind of fold everything together. So these squares here, they will kind of go on top of these ones. The bag will kind of flip this side. And I'm going to be putting a few little steps on how you can sew the squares together right here so that you know exactly how you can do it. Or you can just go for it, you know the layout already, and then you can just start sewing everything together. I think I'm going to be doing first these ones here, and then kind of join all these ones first, and then I'm going to be starting to add these ones here at the bottom. So I'm gonna get this one and this one first. So join it together. I'm going to be starting here right at the end. Choose a stitch to start with. One from one side, one from the other. And then at the end, you're gonna go through the loop, and then you're just going to be basically attaching here together. And then from here, you can just start sewing. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew all of my squares together. You will probably see a couple of time lapse of me joining and sewing my squares together. And then once I have all of them attached together and sewed together, I will be back, and then we are going to move on into the next step. Oh my god, I'm so excited already because this bag is so simple and it's going to be so beautiful. I cannot wait to see it completed. so I am done, as you can see, with all of the sewing. This is how it looks like now. You should have something exactly like this. So now we have to fold the bag. So this is square right here. This one here is the bottom of the bag. So the bag is going to be folded like this. It's already looking like a bag. And then we have to sew these two squares on the side, just like this. Look at that. Oh my god. It looks so cute. I love it. So to do that, we have to first turn this on the right side. So the right side is now facing you guys, and then we have to fold the bag just like this. And then we are going to be joining the sides together, and then we are going to be sewing from this square here. So it's going to be closed like this. So from here all the way here, down, and all the way to the bottom of the bag. And then we are going to be leaving the top of these four squares open. So we are not going to be sewing here or here. So this part is going to be open. We are just going to be sewing here, here, and here. Oh, and also before I move on, before I close the sides, if you want to do a lining for this bag, I am not going to be doing a lining for this particular bag because I think that the squares are already nicely covered. I would say they don't have holes around or anything like that, so I'm pretty happy with the coverage of the bag. So I am not going to be adding a lining for this bag. But if you want to do a lining, it's the same way that you would do for a tote bag, the lining, because you can see that it's the same kind of shape. It's a little bit rounded here, but it's not going to be a problem if you do like a little bit more square. All right, so it's exactly the same. You probably just want to do these little points here, or you can go like straight here as well, so you can just play around. I'm not gonna do the lining for this particular bag. Maybe if you do want to see a lining for this bag, then maybe I can do in a separate video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a lining for this bag. I can do it, I don't mind doing it, but for me, with this particular square, I don't think we need a lining. We can also use these little sacks, these ones here, if you want. If you don't want to do a lining, you can use these ones already as a lining for the inside of the bag. So this is another thing that you can use if you don't want to do a lining for your bag. So now, let's start sewing this bag close. Yay! Oh my god, everyone, look at this. I finished sewing this last night and it's already morning, so good morning. We are back and now we are going to be finishing this bag together. The last thing we have to do is to create the straps. It's still on the reverse, as you can see. So we are going to be turning this bag inside out, and then we are going to review the right side of the bag. Isn't it so cute? Look at this! No way! I love it, and it's the perfect size as well. And also you can see that the way that I've sewn all of the squares together. So on this side we have the yellow on top, so all of the yellow is on the top. And they are all the same, right? Okay, the swirly things. Okay, good. And then on this side we have the copper on top, as you can see here. So now let's move on into the next step, which is creating some single crochets and the straps, and we are basically done. This bag is so quick to make. I'm impressed. Let's go. So now we have to choose which color we want for the finishing details. I am planning on doing copper for the single crochets because I'm thinking of doing single crochets here on the top, maybe like 2-3 rows, I'm not sure yet, but I'm planning on just doing a little finishing. And when we get here into the deeper parts of the bag, so we have 4 parts, so the sides, the front and the back, we are going to be doing 3 single crochets together, in which is a decrease of 3 single crochets together. That was hard to say. So every time you get to the deeper points, and when we get at the top here on the tip, we are going to be doing 3 single crochets inside the 2 chain space. So I'm going to be starting on the side here. So you can go ahead and choose any stitch, and then you can attach a yarn, and then we can start with the single crochets. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing here in the deeper points and also the top here. And for this one, I am using the 3mm hook. So I'm going to get the copper yarn and my 3mm hook. The first thing we are going to do is create a slip knot, and then we can attach with the single crochet into any stitch that you want. So I'm going to zoom in here now for you so that you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So go ahead and attach your yarn with a single crochet, and then from here we are going to be creating single crochets until we have 3 single crochets here. So I'm gonna probably do maybe here a little bit, and then this one. I'm not sure. Let's do it. So maybe we can get this one, and this one. So you're going to insert and pull up a loop into the next stitch. Insert and pull up a loop. And then insert and pull up a loop. So you're gonna have 4 loops on the hook. And then all you have to do is to yarn over and pull through all the loops together. So that's what we are going to be doing when we get into the deeper parts of the bag. And then from here we are going to be continuing with the single crochets all the way to the top. So when you get here at the top, you want to make sure that you cover all of your stitches. So all of the double crochet stitches. This one here is my last one. And then when you get here at the top of the 2 chain space, we are going to be doing 3 single crochets here at the top. I wanted to do 2. So should we do 2 or 3? I think 2 is going to be better. I think 2. So maybe we're gonna do 2 instead of 3, all right? And then from here, make sure that you get the very first double crochet. And then we are going to be continuing all the way down. So now here we have this crazy looking thing. You kind of have to discover stitches when you get to this point, to this area here of the bag, but that's completely fine because here we have the sewing, so it is a little bit kind of confusing when you look at it. But all you have to do is just find 3 spaces that you can work with and create the 3 single crochets together. There we go. That's all you have to do. And then from here we can just continue all the way up, and then we are going to do the 2 single crochets right on top of the chain 2 space. And then what I'm going to do, repeat the same all the way around, and then I'll meet you here so that I can show you how to join the 2 parts together. So we are getting here towards the end, as you can see. So I have the 2 last stitches, and then all we have to do now is to go into that very first stitch. I think we can try get 2 little stitches from this one, maybe here. Yep. And then we are going to slip stitch the 2 sides together. We are now going to chain 1, and then from here we are going to be starting the next row.
So go into the very first single crochet, create a single crochet on top, and then we're going to be creating single crochets on top of single crochets. That's all we have to do. If you want, you can place a stitch marker here. I think I am going to do that because it will be hard when we return it to know exactly where we started. So I'm gonna place a stitch marker here. So what we have to do now is to continue creating the 3 single crochets together. So you will find the next 3 single crochets when we get to the deeper points, and then you're going to be doing exactly the same. So pull up a loop into the next stitch, the next one, and the following, and then yarn over, pull through all the stitches together, and then from here we can just continue creating single crochets all the way to the top. When you get here at the top, you're just going to be following the single crochets that you have here. We are not going to be doing the 2 single crochets together, the increase anymore. We are just following the stitches that we have here and creating a single crochet right on top. That's all we have to do, all right? So I'm going to be following the same steps, and then I will meet you when I'm back into the stitch marker. So I'm getting towards the end, as you can see. I think here, yeah, here is my last stitch. All we have to do now is to remove the stitch marker, and then into that stitch we are going to slip stitch the sides together. And now from here I'm going to be repeating one more row exactly like the previous one. So I finished here row number 3, so now we can remove a stitch marker, slip stitch into that stitch, we can chain 1 and fasten off. There we go. And then we can weave these 2 yarns in later. But let's see how the little finishing looks like now. So this is how the finishing here at the top looks like. I love it, and it's a little bit more stronger here and sturdier at the top rather than just having the double crochets. So I love that. So now let's do the very last thing we have to do, which are the straps. So I've decided not to do with the 3 colors because I didn't like how the beige or even the yellow I was going to do yellow, but I didn't really like how it turned out. It was too colorful. So I decided to do with the copper and the brown only together, so it's a little bit thicker. And also I didn't like how thick it was, the strap. It didn't really go with the bag, the vibe that I'm going for. So I'm just gonna be using the copper and the brown together. So put the 2 together, create a slip knot. I'm using a 4mm hook, and then from here we can start. And I decided to do 6 stitches here at the top. So we have to find the first 2 stitches right here at the top and then go down 2 and 2, so that's 6 stitches. All right, so we're going to be working with 6 stitches now. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So going to the stitch number 6 here, we are going to be creating a single crochet to attach the yarn in place, and then from here we can create single crochets back and forth. I'm also going to be feeding this end inside the single crochets, so we are going to be creating 6 single crochets in total. So the very first one counts as 1, so 1 2. See, it looks much better this way, because then it matches here the 2 very last rows. And I think it looks better in my opinion, but let's see. So to go up we have to chain 1, turn project. We are not counting here the chain 1 as a stitch, so go into the very first stitch and create a single crochet, and then all the way down creating single crochets, making sure that you have 6 single crochets. So 4 5 and then number 6. This last one is a bit hard to get, but just move it around and try to get it because it's there. The little stitch is there. So 6, chain 1, turn project, go into the very first stitch, single crochet, and then single crochet all the way down. So now I'm just going to be following here the same steps, creating my single crochets going up. And then once I have the length I want, I think I'm gonna do around, I'm not sure the length, but I want this bag to be a tote bag, so that you already have like an estimate of the length I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna do mine, and then I will be back to let you know exactly how many rows I did. And also I'm going to be measuring because it's a little bit easier if I measure, and then you can do as many single crochets to fit that measurement. So I am done here with my strap. With the very first one, we have to do 2. So it looks like this, as you can see. And we are going to be now sewing here on the other side. So you want to make sure that your bag is kind of folded correctly so that we can sew here on the other side. We are not going to be sewing with the one at the back, all right? We are going to be sewing with the one on the side, on the other side here. So it's gonna be like that. Make sure that it's not twisted when you're sewing. But before I do that, I wanna measure the strap for you. So I've done 102 rows of single crochets. And if I measure, I'm going to be measuring without stretching. So I've done 52.5 centimeters of rows. So this is the size that I decided to go for. You can do shorter, you can do a little bit longer. This is the length that I usually go for straps. So when you've done the rows that you wanted for the strap, you can go ahead and chain 1. And you can fasten off, but before you cut the yarn, you want to make sure that you leave a little bit extra yarn here at the end so that we can sew this strap on the other side. You don't need a lot, just make sure that you have enough to go maybe twice through the sewing. I think that this should be fine. So now we can go ahead and thread this yarn into our tapestry needle. So to sew it in place, we are going to be doing it on the reverse. So you just have to place the strap like this, and then you're going to be sewing it on the inside of the bag so that the sewing will be here on the reverse. So let's make sure that we count the same amount of stitches on this side and also the same place that we did here on this side. We are going to be kind of doing the same here on this side. Find the very first 2 at the top, count 2 going down, and this is the stitch that we are going to be starting the sewing. So it's this one here with the very first stitch. And then the second one with the second stitch. The third one with the third one, and then all the way down. Make sure that it's exactly the same. So that's pretty much perfect. So once you checked that it's perfect, we can now just fasten off. I'm just gonna go through this last stitch twice, and maybe I'm gonna go back and just do another sewing just to be sure that the sewing is secured enough and that it's nice and strong. There we go. Just check. Yeah, that's perfect now. So now we can fasten off and we can weave in. that's it for the strap. The only thing that I have to do is to weave this other yarn in. I'm gonna do that now. So here we have the strap completed, as you can see. So do make sure that it's not twisted before you fasten off and weave in this side here. And as you can see, it's not twisted. It's amazing. I love this strap so much, and I think it complements this bag much more than before that I've added the yellow and this beige. I think this is perfect. I'm so happy that I didn't add any yellow or beige here on the strap. This is just perfect. I love this one. So what I'm going to be doing now is repeating exactly the same to here the other side. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to weave in any other yarn that I have to weave in, and then I will be back to show you the final project, the final bag, because this is basically the last thing you have to do to complete this 13 granny squares bag. And oh my god, I love it. It is looking amazing. Look at that. And it's so pretty, super quick to make. I'm so happy. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the other strap, and then I'll be back with you in a second. Woo! I'm so happy, everyone. I'm so happy. So here it is. Look at her. Look at our spiral 13 granny squares bag. She looks amazing. She's beautiful. She's creative. She's stylish. She's everything. Look at her. Look at her. Oh my god, everyone, she's beautiful. I love this bag so much, and I really hope you guys also like it and you're going to be making one for yourself. I love how it fits around my shoulder as well. It's perfect. The sizing is perfect. I have measured the bag. She's 59 centimeters long, so from shoulder all the way to the bottom it's 59 centimeters long. So it's a pretty good size, as you can see. It looks pretty good. I love it. So this is the completed project, and I'm super excited. So stylish and also super creative, and you can make this bag super quick. The squares will be a little bit longer to make, so you can just watch a movie, create all of the squares, and then you can just join everything together, create the straps, and you are done. It's that quick. I was impressed. I made this bag so quick. I made during the night because that was the only time I had available because I was so busy. My god, I really like it. I really like this bag, and I'm like, I think this is the best bag I ever made in my life. Really. I love tote bags. I love. My favorite the cross bags and tote bags because I can take shopping, I can take everywhere with me. So I'm pretty happy with this one. So yeah, this is what we made. Congratulations for making another project here on my channel, following my tutorials. Super excited. If you end up making this bag, don't forget to tag me on Instagram if you post a picture over there. I would love to see the colors you have used, also the squares that you have used. Yeah, pretty excited. So thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave your massive thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to watch more fun craziness of me here on the channel. So yeah, thank you everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye!